And it is my pleasure to host these three stalwarts, I'd say, with me. Kalyan Karmakar, Doma Wang, and Rukshana Kapadia. Thank you so much for being a part of this festival. It is our honor. So today our conversation is on our Mishti Stories. And Mishti is not just a dessert, it is an emotion. It is an indispensable part of any celebration. It signifies unity, it signifies togetherness in our culture, in our Indian culture. So I'm going to start with Mr. Kalyan Karmakar because you have been a Provashi Bengali for the longest time. So, how is Mishti different outside India?
So first of all, I must say that the mother of our second cat is someone who I've named Mishti. So you have a whole lot of people in our apartment who are not Bengali. So they're aware of the term Mishti. But more since the thing that if when you travel outside, you'll hardly see, and we were discussing this earlier, hardly see any, probably none, Bengali Mishti brand outside. So except one Kesila's outlet in Bengal. And in each city also very limited. So in Bombay you have Sweet Bengal, in Delhi you've got a few around Chittagong Park. Bangalore really not much beyond Kesila's. So when I went to Mumbai, I saw there was phenomena of Bengali sweets, which everyone likes, including my mom. So I said, what do you like? She's passing away. So she's in Malay Cham Cham. So everywhere in mithai shops, there's a section called Bengali mithai, and where there will be very hard rasgullas, or the Malay Cham Cham, which are two slabs, two brosh type of slabs, and with a bit of kheer in between. So that's called Malay Cham Cham. So that's what people know on Bengali sweets. So it's a I won't even say that it's like sushi, something like Japanese food, because sushi is actually part of Japanese food, so Malay Cham Cham isn't. So to answer your question, it doesn't really exist outside, which is a bit of a shame.
Probably when you're visiting a store maybe and you're having it, do you kind of chip in some advice?
Outside?
Yes.
Sometimes, like for example, if I go to a local Sweet Bengal store and if I see people who are not from Bengal, I would say non-Bengalis buying things, and they are a bit confused about what to buy or what to order. So then I do chip in.
That's wonderful. So now I move on to Doma ma'am. Ma'am, what purpose do you think sweets serve in our life? It's a very general question, but...
Well, I think sweets, especially Bengali Mishti, serves... I don't think there's life without Mishti. So, it's the most important thing, at least for me, because if anyone follows me in Insta, they know that every morning on my breakfast plate, there is Mishti. Some kind of Mishti or the other. So, yeah, like we always say, all's well that ends well, or let's end things on a sweet note. Mishti, of course, that's the thing that will make everything good.
So, what is your favorite Mishti?
My favorite Mishti has always been the small Mishti called Chenar Murgi, which I don't think many people make anymore or talk about much. But when I was a child, there was a small place called Naren Das in Kalimpong, and they used to make Chenar Murgi. And it was like real Chenar Murgi. So that's something I still consider my favorite.
So, Rukshana, I want to go to you. So, which is your earliest memory with Mishti you recall?
I was born in Kolkata, and I think for me, I was surrounded by Mishti, and that's the beauty of, I think, as you very correctly said, it's an emotion. And I think what fascinates me about Mishti is how intrinsic a part it has been of everybody's life. When we are born, Mishti announces us, and my partner is Bengali, and over the years I've realized that even when we lose a dear one of the things that we take to a funeral is flowers and Mishti. And I always used to think, that Mishti is about joy and a celebration. But over the years, I've realized Mishti is about comfort. So I think for me, one of my earliest memories was going, my grandfather was a legendary foodie before the term became fashionable, and he was a great host. People would want to come to have a dinner or a lunch at our house because he put on this lavish spread. And his office used to be in Grand Street in Dharamtala. So I would go with him to Esplanade, to Casey Das or Ganguram or one of the mishti shops, and he would like choose 5 different kinds of mishtis, and I would be very happy because I was also a foodie. So that I would shut up. I was given a few to eat. I want this, I want this, I want this. So I would sit and stuff my face, and then we'd carry home all the mishti, and I'd get a second round at home. So I think for me that's my earliest mishti memory, and I always say that the 2 earliest mentors or inspirations were both my paternal and maternal grandfather and food, because one was a fabulous chef and one was a very, very, popular host, for lack of a better word. And I grew up on stories of my grandfather swimming in the Ganges in Banaras, and after getting hungry and drinking 1 liter of milk and eating 20 jalebis. So yeah, I have a lot of mishti memories, and I think those are my earliest and very happy ones.
So I'd ask you one more question related to that, because you said both of your grandfathers, one is a chef and one is a host. So did you learn any of the recipes from them, and do you enjoy making any of them?
Honestly, I know how to cook. I occasionally do, but I'm smart and I'm lazy. I make sure all the chefs are my friends. They feed me and they thank me for feeding me. One of them is on my right. So, that's how it works. The smart thing to do is to get all the chefs to cook for you, and when you're in my position, they're like, please come and taste our food, and I'm like, yes. So that's how it works.
So Doma ma'am, how do you think is sweet or mishti different in North Bengal maybe?
The mishti here, of course, is much better. Much better. The rasgulla here, the kalakan, the shandesh, everything tastes much better here. But having said that, I always say that food is all about nostalgia. So I have eaten rasgullas from jugals, from mithai, from everywhere, everywhere. But sometimes at the back of my mind, I still miss the rasgulla I used to have at Amardeep or Naridas in Kalimpong. It is not really rasgulla. One was pink, one was green, but somehow, green and pink. And in fact, when I go back now, Naridas has become 2, Amardeep has also become 2, divided by 2 brothers, unfortunately. And I still go and ask them, don't make the green ones, don't make the pink ones, because, that's the thing. But when you talk about taste and texture and, all things nice, it's always the Kolkata mishti which is better.
My next question, any one of you can answer. So why do you think, other than West Bengal, do you enjoy eating mishtis? Like you talked of nostalgia. So other than West Bengal, is there any place where you really have mishti and maybe enjoy it?
I think for me, if I come across mishti, it's something of cause of great enjoyment. I remember long time back when I was traveling to do focus groups, and I was in Kanpur, and then not only did I see a mishti dokan, but the name was written on it. So that made me feel very good. And at that time, Sweet Bengal wasn't there. So there's a ISKCON temple in Juhu in Bombay, and now they have a very fancy restaurant. But back then, if you go there, so there will be the basic Bengali mishti or shingara, and it was just sold at a very reasonable price. So that was maybe home-like taste of it. When I went to Delhi for my aunt's wedding, there's a place called Annapurna, so I just came from there. And for me now, Sweet Bengal, because there's a lot of debate about how good is it, how expensive it is, and all of that. But there's this sort of saying that eventually it's there, right? I mean, I can't sort of catch a flight to Kolkata to come and have mishti. So I think that what's there is good enough for you, because if you trapped too much in nostalgia, you can't go ahead. So.
Alright. So, barring the nostalgia, is there any mishti you've had recently, like you've not like discovered recently and you have enjoyed it like that?
So I think my latest discovery was yesterday actually. Our friend Anthony has done some fabulous lost sweets of Bengal, and I was quite fascinated and I was quite blown away. Over the years, I think must be my age, but I eat less sweet now. But I was absolutely delighted. In fact, I have told her to keep a little bit for me so that after my panel I can go back down and smuggle in a few more bites. And I'm really looking forward to it because for me, as someone who is a champion of food, in totality, not just Mishti, but in totality, that excitement and joy of discovering anything new or tasting something first. I always say, I'm like, when I find something new that I haven't eaten before, and there's so much of it the world over, I feel like, maybe Vasco da Gama or Christopher Columbus or all those explorers who would come and discover America or the rest of it. And yesterday there was a lot of delight because we got to eat Badshai and we ate Narco in Chile and we ate Shada Bundi. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing them right, but I think people who were there, sorry. So yeah, it was fabulous, it was brilliant, and it just goes to, make me feel that we really need to work hard to preserve these kind of, I would say they're actually culinary arts, and there are not enough of them available. You need to support the industry by not only giving it a shout out, so that people are aware of it and want to have the curiosity to taste it.
So as you said, about preserve this art, but these days, Mishti Walas, their son, their daughters do not want to really join this profession. So, don't you think we are losing a lot of artists this way? We are losing our karigars. What do you have to say about that?
Undoubtedly, Nani, that's one of the discussions I think actually connected me with Lahana way back when she came here. Because I believe, that to really understand food or to understand anything, you have to understand what comes from behind it. It's like saying you make a building, but if there's no foundation, then what's the building going to stand on? It's the same thing with a recipe, with a dish, with an ingredient, with anything. So it's very important to preserve it. And if we don't dignify it, if we don't make it aspirational, then unfortunately we are going to lose it. And there are certain things that I'm all for technology, but at the same point of time, again, with my age, I would say I'm not a technocrat. There are things that machines cannot do, not with the same finesse. Maybe they can do it in bulk, in quantity. But when you talk about finesse, there's something about an instinct. My family's been in the F&B business for the last 75 years, and even our restaurant. We have people who work for the family for the last 44 years. So it is about history. History is not just about the documentation of something, but it's also about creating a legacy which continues to be aspirational for the next generation to want it and to nurture it.
See, also the thing is that this is not a problem unique to Mishti. If you look at farming, people don't want to take out farming. If you look at the Irani cafes, they're shutting down because of that. If you look at Singapore, the hawker market culture, the young generation don't want to get into that. So it's basically, they're called uncle and aunties, the people who run it. So they're getting older by the years. And but the thing is that we can't enforce this on people because people aren't doing it in public service. So it's like heritage buildings which look very good from outside, especially if they're crumbling, but inside it's very difficult to live. So what has to be done is that on the one hand, like creating like passion or joy in it, because every time say an Irani cafe closes down, or I remember there was this sweet shop in Old Delhi which shut down, and there's a lot of outcry, there's a lot of remorse, to which I want to ask those people that when is the last time you went there? So the thing is that we need to patronize these places and also make working conditions better. So for example, the Irani cafes, the current generation just finds it very difficult, physically difficult. They would rather go and take up jobs or go abroad. It's not an easy life, and similarly for the Singaporean hawkers. So there are some initiatives, like for example in Singapore, a hawkers market has been created both by the government and one personally by Sito. And there's a lot of support going there. For example, we were having this discussion yesterday. Is there any pride in Mishti? Because if you look at people from the north, they're making the motichur laddu, Instagrammable, the halwa, the gajar ka halwa. But we have got so much in the mishtis. So is that being brought forward? Are the stories of the Moiras brought forward? Is the difference between our Rajbhog and our Rasgulla brought forward? So the thing is that if we take Mishti as something which is just out there, and if we don't feel really passionate about Mishti, there's not, it's not really going to go out there, because unless we feel good about Mishti, unless we feel confident about Mishti, how can we go and talk to the rest of the world? And the fact is that trend is there. If you look at Instagram today, the highest engagement and discussion happens around home food. If you put up a thali picture there, you get lots and lots of like. So why not about Mishti? Now, it's a different thing that over the years, I personally have not really been into sweets or desserts. So in my writing per se, I don't write about desserts too much, because I write about what I have. But that's not something others from doing.
To that, Doma ma'am, I want to ask you that, don't you think that this problem is also for the change in consumption pattern, maybe because, the Gen Z, the Gen Y, the millennials, they don't really want to consume Mishti. There's a lot of misconception about Mishti, like they don't have a chocolate, a pastry, or maybe they have Coke, but they don't have Mishti. So don't you think that is also a reason?
Well, I feel that Mishti is still very much loved by the people of West Bengal, especially Kolkata. You go on any festival day to any Mishti shop, there are huge queues. I know because I go. And it's just that the younger generation, maybe many of them, like not just the younger generation, many people are becoming health conscious and not wanting to have those, they rather have bitter chocolate, dark chocolate, which is supposedly healthy, versus gure rasgulla with that lovely taste. So, I mean, I promote Mishti wherever I go, and the first thing shops that opened in Kolkata after COVID was Mishti shops. That's how much we love Mishti. That's how much we love Mishti. So I don't know what problem you're talking about, but I don't think Mishti has a problem. It's here to stay.
In fact, outside of Calcutta, Bengali sweets are considered to be the most healthiest of mithai. There's no ghee, there's no khoa, and everything that you mentioned, coke, cheesecake, chocolate. I don't think the younger generation that much into dark chocolate. It's more, foodies like us. So each of that has.
I hated that both of you are keeping on about age, because I'm older than both of you. Yeah? So it's just a number.
So it has far more, what are some things like say cheesecakes and stuff like that, are far less healthier than Mishti. We have to start with the Mishti sizes.
I also have a different perspective on this. I think that today, whatever I understand about Gen Z and the iGen, they're far more knowledgeable about food than someone I was at their age, for example, because there's a lot more information out there thanks to the internet. At the same point of time, they want experiential food, and you eat with all your senses. The first sense is visual. You see something. It is a fact that a slice or a piece of cheesecake does look visually more appealing than, say, a rasgulla or a Pak Sandesh. There's no doubt about it. And I think that unless people like us actually start creating content which celebrates this beautiful culinary art and showcases it, and with our content creation actually describes how beautiful it is, and then we want to experience it, I think that there will be a lag. Because customer insights and psychology is a very important part of any kind of indirect sales today. And when you go forward and you see the buying patterns in terms of actual numbers, you realize that the current generation spends far more of their income on food than some of my generation at their age. There's also more options out there. At the same time, they don't spend quite as much on mishti as they would on a bar, chocolate, cheesecake, or ice cream, for example.
There's a lot of innovation being done in Mishti, right?
Yes, there is.
Chocolate or things which look very different. It also has to be for a while. Then I think Mishti with alcohol inside. So how does all of that do?
For me at least, honestly, I'm a purist. And if I want to eat chocolate, I'll go and eat chocolate. And if I want to eat, my favorite Mishti Doi from Jugals, then I will go and eat that. Or if I want to eat a kheer kalam, I'm going to eat that. I don't want to eat a chocolate kheer kalam. I want to eat a kheer kalam and a chocolate.
But you're Gen X.
I'm
Gen Z. You're Gen X, you're not Gen Z.
But I think a lot of the younger generation, I work professionally in the tech space, and I think most of the people in my office are in their 20s. And I still find that while chocolate is very popular, a lot of them want their mishti and they don't want to go and eat a chocolate sundae. They're looking for a laugh or a blueberry pombo sundae or a strawberry sundae. They're still happy with the regular stuff. Today I'm not doing mishti, tomorrow they're very emphatic about their choices. I think people need to perhaps position that choice in front of them so it's there. Rather than, today how many ads are there or how much content is there of mishti versus a chocolate or a cheese?
Everything in Mishti is just a part of
Correct. Like going back to what Rukshana said about influencers or bloggers trying to promote the mishti. I'll take credit. Every morning my breakfast plate has a mishti. And I'm diabetic. I don't care though. And you know what? Yeah. So I love mishti so much, Rasgulla especially, that when I have an aloo torkari with my luchi or my roti or my paratha or whatever, don't cringe. I take my Rasgulla and I put a little bit of the rosh in my aloo roll. So that's how much I love mishti, and as long as I'm alive, I don't think mishti will go out of fashion.
Mishti is like that.
The next location of the Jugal shop is going to be right outside Domadi's house, and it's going to open every day in time for her breakfast, right, Lana?
Solving.
Okay, so we are going to quickly open the session to the audience because we are really running short of time. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask. Very important person asking.
I actually have a question for Kalyan. Kalyan, I know he's been the first person who actually wrote about Jugals. It was, I guess, 10 years ago, I believe. I can't even remember. And আমাদের জেঠু যিনি দোকান দেখতেন আমার পিস্তত মানে বাবার পিস্তত জেঠু, and he's no more. He passed away last year. I remember the joy that it brought to my Jitu, my carigors, everyone. Somebody wrote about us, and I want to take this opportunity to thank Kalyan that you did that for us, and for Jitu to see
Can
that.
I have a round of applause for that?
No, it's true, and that's how I know of Kalyan. And then I found out that Rookie knows Kalyan, everybody knows Kalyan. I'm like, how did I not know this? But I will be forever grateful to Kalyan to do that first article about us. At the Park Circus shop, he stopped by, and I remember.
I got Aslan for biryani.
Yes, I remember. And so thank you for that. Delhi, the favorite mishti dokan konta? Sorry, Mumbai, the favorite mishti dokan konta?
The only option is Sweet Bengal.
Akhono?
Because there's some which open at New Bombay, they shut down. So it's just Sweet Bengal. And then there are the ISKCON sweets. That's the mishti dokan. So it's just, and Brejwasi and all that. Beloved Rashmalai and Malai Chapcho.
বিড়ালগুলো মিষ্টি খায়?
Sorry?
বিড়ালগুলো মিষ্টি খায়?
One of them is named Mishti actually.
Yes. No, it's the mother's name. And their kids were Nimki and Chop Chop. So by the time they came out, there was only one. So I just chose Nimki. So everyone feels that Nimki should be a girl's name, but
I think Bengalis have this trend, like they want to name their pets after like food items. I've seen them so much. Okay, then I'd say Indians.
But she's Bengali, right?
Two of us are more Bengal.
So, any more questions? Then we can wrap this session. Okay. So thank you so much, three of you, for joining. It was lovely to have all of you on board together. This is Papri signing off for the session. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a bad joke, but Papri chat. Yeah? So Papri chat. So Papri chat. Yeah. It's,
See, my name is also after a food.
yeah.
Yeah, so you
I'm
understand.
guessing the flower and Papri, right? But Papri chat was good fun.
I get that a lot.
I want to know after this marvelous exhibition when the next marvelous exhibition will be held. Is it the next exhibition will be held on Mishti is with our literature discussion? Is it on end of this 2023 or 2024?
24. Today is the last day of this festival. So next year again. Asche bochor abar hobe. Yes.
Date will be announced next.
Yes, absolutely.
Acha.
Thank you so much.